Hello everybody and welcome to my Midnight Texas Season 2 episode by episode recap. This video includes 9 videos of my episode reviews, so if you have seen these individually you really don't need to watch this, but this just puts them all in one place. Enjoy. Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be reviewing Midnight Texas Season 2 Episode 1. So Midnight Texas has finally returned for a long-awaited Season 2. The majority of this episode focuses on Manfred and how he is dealing with the effects of demonic possession. So a new healer type character is introduced named Kai Lucero, who is the one who bought the hotel at the end of the last season along with his wife Patience. Staying on the subject of new characters, a human demon hunter is introduced named Walker who helps Joe in killing some demons. That's about all we have seen about him so far though. Also, now Lemuel and Olivia have a psychic connection because he had to give her vampire blood at the end of last season, which was very helpful when Manfred tried to kill Olivia in this episode. Speaking of Manfred, he keeps having urges to kill Creek and everyone else in Midnight, which leads him to trying to kill Creek and Olivia. But Lemuel of course steps in and stops Manfred before he has the chance. He also dug 8 graves for all the Midnighters, but by the end of this episode, Kai Lucero, the healer, heals Manfred from the demon cancer. I believe that's what we're calling it. Part of this demon cancer was Zelda appearing almost as Manfred's alter ego in a way, trying to convince him to do bad things. Also, Creek decides that she is leaving Midnight without Manfred to go to Austin to pursue a writing course or something along those lines. On the opposite side of the scale, Fiji, Bobo, Lemuel and Olivia are very much in love. Although in a scene with Fiji and Bobo, all of her flowers are dying, which is a sign of demons, so probably not good. For us, I trust the demons are having one hell of a time. So everybody in Midnight seems to be accepting Kai and Patience as one of them, but in an end scene we see Kai telling some sort of odd severed head, I think, that I will avenge you, so I don't know whether this has something to do with the veil being thin between Midnight, or if one of the Midnighters killed or did something to the severed head person. So far we really don't have a lot of information on that. This was a good kind of establishing episode to bring Midnight Texas back to, but I was honestly expecting a bit more to come of Manfred's side effects to being possessed. Part of me is happy that they didn't draw it out, but at the same time everything just seemed too easy. But since the flowers are dying, maybe it's not all over yet. Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be reviewing Midnight Texas Season 2 Episode 2. So most of this episode is Manfred and Patience trying to get ghosts out of the hotel after they kill a guy. It is actually, as Manfred said, a great comparison to him and Creek. If he doesn't let Creek go, then he could end up turning into a love-crazed nutjob like that ghost. In that scene where the ghosts are in Manfred's body and they are talking back and forth, you've got to applaud the actor whose name I'm not even going to try to pronounce, but it was really well done. Also, there is a lot of chemistry between Patience and Manfred in this episode, which will cause a lot of drama. Now, Joe this episode is completely avoiding Walker, the demon hunter from the last episode, and he just got a knife he pawned to Bobo back, and has a creepy look on his face, so there is definitely something more to that than what we have seen. Lemuel and Olivia, mainly Olivia, is having trouble dealing with the psychic connection, but Lemuel, because of this psychic connection, is having trouble seeing the logical side of situations, and his connection to Olivia is getting people killed. Next up, every time Bobo and Fiji are being physically affectionate towards one another, something tries to kill Bobo. That is what happened to the plants, the same happens with the chandelier, a fan, and a flying knife. This is likely that curse that Fiji apparently has that pretty much means anyone she loves dies, but whether it is a demon or a ghost or even a creature at all, we really don't know yet. Also, Lemuel tries to help a vampire, but it doesn't work out too well and people die, but good news, Kai can cure supernaturalism, so he cures that vampire. I can definitely see either Olivia going to Kai to break the psychic connection between her and Lemuel, or Lemuel going to get his vampirism removed for Olivia. Or maybe even Fiji going to him to try and break the curse. So the end scene sees Manfred sneaking into Kai's office and finding the head behind the painting after the ghost told him that there were secrets behind the woods. But when he touches the cage, the head rattles, we get a flash of a sword, which I would say is how this girl, guy and or thing got their head cut off, then he got thrown back and knocked out. Possibly by some sort of protection spell or the head defending itself. He probably should have stopped while he was ahead. Sorry. Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be reviewing Midnight Texas Season 2 Episode 3. So Manfred is awoken by Patience after he got thrown halfway across a room by the head last episode. Anyway, they share a hug and Manfred steals her hair so he can figure out whether her intentions are pure. Which they are, and during this hug you could cut the sexual tension with a knife. Anyway, speaking of sexual tension, Fiji is trying to figure out what is attacking Bobo after his leg gets cut open, which turns out to be her fault. So Manfred and Fiji attempt to figure out how to summon Mildred, Fiji's aunt, who is in witch hell. Sounds like a lovely place, great healthcare I'm sure. We also get a flashback from 10 years ago of the Rev going full were-tiger on some dude and slashing him up. Next up, Joe meets up with Walker on Hunter's moon, and they go take down some demons together. They share several lovely moments, and you can tell that will be a problem for Joe's relationship with Chewie in the future, especially since he kissed a demon hunter and his current partner is a demon. That sounds like a terrible soap opera. So this lady, Madonna Reed, the bartender, still seems to be checking up on Olivia and texting someone named Philip Charity, and it looks like she is trying to get something which turns out to be Olivia's blood, which is interesting to say the least. So we get a lot of backstory on the Rev from these flashbacks. Turns out that his name isn't really Emilio, and he actually stole the identity and even being the Reverend from the man who he killed while he was a were-tiger. And it turns out the Rev went to Kai before he left town to get rid of his were-tiger side, and the Rev is leaving Midnight, which makes sense as it was revealed that both Creek and the Rev weren't going to be regulars this season. So Fiji and Manfred summon Fiji's aunt, and Manfred trades places with her in witch hell, but if he gets touched he will be doomed for an eternity. Yay! But yes, Fiji's family was cursed by dark witches over 800 years ago, and it turns out that even with dark magic there is no way to break the curse unless you turn the person you love into a cat. And there is Mr. Snuggly's backstory right there. Also, Kai has an argument with Patience and he will be out of Midnight for 2 more days, so Patience and Manfred go get a drink, and Manfred will probably be getting an office in the Crystal Desert. Next up, Lemuel is working on Not Being So Smothering with Olivia, and everybody goes to church to say goodbye to the Rev. Not actually, though the Rev is already technically left, they just light some symbolic candles. Also, Joe cuts his hair, which is symbolism at its finest, and Fiji breaks the news to Bobo. It's really a heartbreaking scene, especially with that song in the background. Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be reviewing Midnight Texas Season 2 Episode 4. So the episode starts off with a woman coming out of nowhere having a were-tiger baby named Mary who has accelerated growth, so is like 4 years old in 5 minutes and so on. And she was looking for the Rev, which makes sense. Also, Bobo spends a lot of the episode trying to get Fiji back with the old boombox outside of the window trick. Didn't work, but whatever. So Fiji puts a spell on Bobo, hence the name of the episode, making him fall out of love with her and forget her altogether, which is another level of weird, even for Fiji. So 2 guys come looking for Mary, who was holding her mother hostage, and Olivia goes to help her, but Mary's a were-tiger, so she just, eats them. No, I don't think she ate them, but close enough. And Mary can turn into a were-tiger when it isn't a full moon while she is growing. But Joe and Manfred do an excellent job lying to the police, almost as if they've done it before. Though Lemuel and Olivia are doing a great job raising Mary the little, or not so little now, were-tiger. So next up, Mary's grandmother shows up, or maybe not her grandmother according to Olivia, but she is. Fiji does a DNA thing. But Manfred heads to the coroner's office to talk to the ghost of the dead men. Turns out they run a fighting ring, so it's a human trafficking situation, and it's run by Grace, her grandmother. Oh, how lovely. So she disappears with Mary and she's psychotic. So Bobo touches Fiji and remembers everything, which is good. He is kind of a slob without Fiji. So while Lemuel and Manfred are distracting the fighting ring, Olivia and Joe go after Mary, and that old psychotic lady gets what she deserves. It's almost poetic in that way. But Mary heads off with her dad, which upsets Olivia, and Olivia upset is a very rare sight. So Manfred goes in for the kiss with Patience and gets denied. Didn't see that coming, but guess where she shows up like 20 minutes later? At his house. Jeez, look at the queen of mixed signals here. So, we know that is going to cause a lot of drama with Kai. Also, it looks like Fiji is going to turn Bobo into a dog, as that is really the only way to protect him permanently. Just a normal Midnighter's day. Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be reviewing Midnight Texas Season 2 Episode 5. So the episode starts with Lemuel feeling Olivia's desire for children, so he gets his vampirism removed by Kai so they can have kids. Yeah, this one's going to be a wild episode. Also, Patience and Manfred seem to be continuing their little affair. Like I said, wild episode, Bobo is now a dog, and Fiji sounds like a mad woman. Olivia and Lemuel are also having some relationship trouble because Lemuel is going crazy with the whole baby thing. So everything starts going even more downhill when a supernatural force kills Sydney from Teen Wolf, or in this world, one of the people who works at the hotel. Next up, Olivia finds Madonna's check for 10 grand from Charity Private Security, so her dad's company, so she is working for her father, as it has been hinted at in the past episodes. They have a bit of a brawl, turns out Madonna isn't her real name, and now Olivia is going to find her father. This episode is getting wilder and wilder by the second. So a witch named Celeste shows up to help Fiji, and it turns out Fiji is a dark witch by birth. So Fiji pretty much has to decide whether she says goodbye to Bobo or embraces the darkness to save Bobo. Fiji by the end ends up embracing the darkness. So Olivia and Lemuel go to Olivia's father's house, but run into a house filled with Christmas decorations and a young Olivia, also her mother who is supposed to be dead. Then Olivia is taken over by the spell and starts to buy into the whole memory thing through a spell that her father cast. So Bobo and Fiji show up and Bobo punches Olivia's father in the face, which is very entertaining if I do say so myself. Joe and Manfred catch an invisible man or woman spying on them, who he sprays with paint and follows that paint into a room at the hotel. It turns out that Kai was not killing people, it was Lyric, and she killed Sydney, or whatever you want to call her, because she was going to betray Kai. And Manfred kills her, which is probably a good thing because she knew about the Manfred and Patience affair. So Olivia lets her father live, and it turns out that Kai doesn't just take away monster energy, he consumes it and stores it in a creepy jukebox, which Manfred finds out about, which explains the next episode's title, No More Mr. Nice Kai. So I think next episode will be very interesting, especially if Patience has to decide between Kai and Manfred. Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be reviewing Midnight Texas Season 2 Episode 6. So this episode starts with Manfred telling Patience about the monster energy and she discards it completely pretty much. Then Creek walks in on them making out and that's where the episode picks up. Anyway, turns out Manfred sent Creek a voicemail telling her to come home, but he doesn't remember sending it. Also, Fiji is going full dark witch for Bobo, pledging herself to the darkness. The picture is actually before she pledged herself to the darkness, but it's still pretty terrifying. Lem is still obsessed with food, of course, and Creek catches up with everyone. Also, Joe finally tells Chewie that he is demon hunting, and Chewie doesn't really care. Well, probably until he finds out who he is demon hunting with, but we won't talk about that. Speaking of voicemails that weren't sent, Kai gets one from Patience exposing the affair that she is having with Manfred, which, as you would expect, got a reaction from Kai. Then Walker gets a text from Joe telling him to meet up, which he didn't send, and now there is a second affair in Midnight. Damn it, Joe. Manfred tries to get Creek out of Midnight, but no matter which way they drive, they still go back to town. Everyone's phone goes haywire and the power shuts off for the whole town. Turns out the person pulling everyone's strings is the pizza delivery boy, because we all know how pesky those people can be. But he's actually a demigod or a trickster, and Fiji doesn't really care because she's a power-crazed dark witch now. Manfred and Joe go to steal Kai's magical head because he is lying to them, so they probably assume he is screwing with the town as well. But the trickster sends a voicemail to Walker from Joe telling him there is a demon at midnight, and now Walker is going to try and kill Chewie. Lemuel does get his powers back though, so it is good to have his blue eyes back again. He looked really odd without them. Chewie blows a fuse and his demon comes out because he realizes what Joe and Walker have been doing behind his back, but then they run off and the trickster reveals himself to everyone. But then he heads off as well, with Lemuel saying he will only return if there are secrets amongst each other. In all the chaos though, Manfred assumes that Creek drove off, but Kai, by the looks of it, killed her, with Manfred seeing her ghost at the end before she can tell Manfred Kai killed her. Technically we don't know if Kai killed her, but by the episode title and Kai being the last one to see her alive, he does have a lot of motive. Also, Fiji apologizes to Bobo and they are good again. How long that will last before she breaks bad again, we really don't know. Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be reviewing Midnight Texas Season 2 Episode 7. So Manfred reacts to Creek's death by promptly punching Kai in the face several times, which was fun to watch. Anyway, they have a little funeral service for Creek and start plotting against Kai. Joe is also still chasing down Chewie after he released his demon side in the last episode, and he is now killing people, with Walker of course still following them regardless of the deal he made with Lemuel to leave them alone. Lemuel, Olivia, and Manfred work on translating the Syriac writing on the head's head? Man, we really need a new name for this head. But it says an army of 70 times 7 beasts to free thee. Anyway, they figure out that Kai is collecting monster power to free the head from the cage, and that is why he keeps all the monster energy, and he only needs a couple more vials until he can do the ritual. So Manfred asks a ghost of a powerful gypsy for help, and it turns out that the head in the cage has a twin, and if the head is freed, they will regain their full power, and darkness will fall, which is very cryptic. So Fiji goes full Dark Witch, and we are told that Kai and his apparent twin, the Ophilis, are the original Dark Witches that all witches, including Fiji, descended from. Also, Lemuel finds Creek's phone and keys in a box buried by Fiji's house, so it turns out that Fiji didn't kill Creek, she just covered it up and burnt the body. Furthermore, Fiji is helping Kai collect monster powers to free the twin. To stop Fiji, Bobo burns her books and all her dark magic stuff in the street, and then Joe and Walker catch up to Chewie by the end of the episode, and Joe kills him to save Walker. They bury Chewie, and Joe tells Walker to pretty much get lost and never come back, and then Joe cuts off his wings. By the end, we get a massive bombshell that it is actually Patience's twin and not Kai's, and honestly, Kai isn't so much the bad guy. He was just used by Patience, with Patience telling him that her and her twin were actually the good witches and the bad witches attacked them. But it is actually the other way around in reality. It also turns out that the necklace Patience gave Manfred at the start of the episode to protect him from Kai was actually to bind her twin's head to his body, and that's where the episode ends. Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be reviewing Midnight Texas Season 2 Episode 8. We start this episode exactly where we left off. Manfred runs into Patience and tries to play it off, but it definitely doesn't work, and Patience's accent isn't actually real. She sounds so bloody weird without it though. Anyway, Patience has everyone, but Joe shows up and saves the day with Patience and Fiji escaping. It also turns out that when Patience removed the head, the painting moved, and when Manfred touched it, he found the woman in the painting, who is Delilah, one of the original good witches. We also get a bit of backstory on how the good and bad side of witches came about, with Patience and her brother pulling a Game of Thrones, getting in between Delilah and the Ophilis, and that is how dark magic was born. Also, I really like how they show both sides of the story, with Delilah and Patience both telling the story from their perspectives, and we get to see Delilah decapitate the Ophilis, banning their descendants from love, which explains the Fiji and Bobo curse. We find out that Fiji's butterfly is hiding inside Bobo because he is the one she loved the most, so Olivia and some witch lady sends a centipede in to get it, which is just a lovely scene, not disgustingly terrible at all. And yes, I'm being sarcastic. But it doesn't work anyway because Fiji shows up and squashed her butterfly, which is officially more evil than anything she has ever done. Fiji and Patience need a demon to kill Joe, so Fiji brings Chewie back to life to play on Joe's guilt, which he does very well, weakening Joe and allowing Fiji and Patience to capture both him and Lemuel. So Manfred comes up with a plan to go to Hexenork, or Witch Hell, to get Patience's son so Kai can take his supernatural abilities and free Delilah from the painting. But they are too late, everyone has been captured except them, and Patience along with Fiji has amassed a massive following of dark witches and head for the church. Manfred swallows all the power collected from Patience's kid and storms the church like an absolute boss, but he still can't win against Fiji and Patience. Anyway, he gets captured and then just straight up decapitated by Patience, which is just brutal. Anyway, that's how it ends, and the season finale is next week. Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be reviewing Midnight Texas Season 2 Episode 9. So we pick up straight after last episode left off with Fiji and Patience successfully breaking the 7x70 curse, putting the Ophilis' head on Manfred's body, which is just so wrong in many more ways than I can count. Something that I did really like though was that they renamed Midnight to Patience Texas, which is really hilarious, and they even changed the intro of the episode to suit Patience Texas. So now Patience and her brother are in their own little screwed up monarchy paradise town, with everyone in the town pretty much being their slaves. Also, Patience is planning world domination and to build a witch army by forcefully taking out good witches' butterflies. All the Midnighters are still alive. Joe has been turned to a dark angel pretty much with dark wings, or a demon, I guess. Meanwhile, Olivia, Bobo and Lemuel are all imprisoned. Then we get a bombshell that Walker is with Manfred, who is still alive, and Kai actually cast a spell to make himself look like Manfred, and it was actually Kai who got his head cut off. And they did this in hope that Kai's body wouldn't be strong enough to survive the ritual, and they were right, they just don't know it yet as Kai's body is failing, so now Manfred and Walker are going back to Midnight. Also, apparently the witches are going to burn Olivia at the stake, which, how much is this show going to take from Game of Thrones? And I know what you're thinking, no, it's not taken from Game of Thrones, it's taken by the Salem witch trials. It doesn't matter, close enough. Also, our favourite demigod delivery boy is back to watch the show. Anyway, Olivia is about to be burned, but Manfred makes one hell of an entrance with Walker, and I gotta say, best line of the show goes to one Manfred Bernardo. Also, another bloody bombshell. Lemuel turned Olivia, and in the middle of the burning, she vampired her way out of it, I guess, with everyone escaping and them capturing Fiji. Also, Lemuel now has a psychic connection with Theophilus due to Lemuel giving him his blood, and Kai's body is failing very fast. So, Bobo makes a deal with the trickster to get Fiji a soul because they need her to help break the spell on the painting. So yeah, Fiji is back. They are about to break the spell, but then Joe busts in and captures everyone, bringing Manfred to Patience. He is about to get his head chopped off, but Delilah gets out of the painting, and we get a pretty awesome witch standoff, and Manfred pulls off Theophilus's head. And now Patience has all the power of the 490 beasts, but Kai's ghost jumps into Manfred and absorbs all of the powers, bringing Patience back to evil, but not as strong Patience. With Manfred destroying the powers and Delilah putting Patience in the painting for eternity. Joe is pulled back by Walker, with Walker now kind of joining the town. Kai moves on and Delilah pisses off to catch butterflies. Joe is also leaving Midnight to get redemption from God for everything he has done. Also, Fiji is pregnant, and it might have something to do with the soul the trickster stole. Yeah, this is all going over my head. So, Manfred's grandmother comes back to warn Manfred, and it turns out that the knight from Delilah's hell got out and is now in Midnight. So this season was absolutely fantastic. I really enjoyed it. I actually enjoyed it more than the first season, which is definitely rare with a TV show. Anyway, whether this is the end for the show permanently, we really don't know. It has been cancelled by NBC, but last I heard the showrunners were trying to pitch it to other networks, so it is very possible that we could see this return, but I don't want to get anyone's hopes up. So this could very well be the last video I make about Midnight Texas. It was a great series while it lasted, and hopefully another network picks it up for another couple seasons. Hey guys, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more content on Quicktops. Also, if you want to check out my second channel, Quicktops 2, mainly focused on gaming and news, then feel free. And if you want to get a notification every time I upload, feel free to follow me on Twitter or click the bell icon next to the subscribe button. Links, as always, are in the description below. Have a great day, and I hope to see you in the future. Bye.